Mario Draghi has spoken. Financial markets have reacted. Spanish and Italian borrowing costs falling sharply. Here for his thoughts, I'm joined at the Ambrosetti Forum in Lake Como, Italy, by one of Italy's top bankers. He's Chief Executive of Unicredit, Federico Guedsoni. Mr. Guedsoni, thanks for joining us. Now, what's your first reaction to the ECB plan outlined yesterday?
Well, positive. I think the ECB sent to the market and to investors a very strong and clear message about their future policy. The reaction of the market has been as well very, very positive, promising. Clearly, we cannot rely looking forward only on the BCE decision, so we must now look what the governments in Europe will do. It's important they will continue, especially in countries like Italy, on the austerity program and try to get with reforms to have the growth back.
I'll come to the governments in a second, but will what the ECB and Mr. Draghi said yesterday, will that be enough to break the link between the banks and the sovereign?
Well, not yet. I think, again, important to see if what has been decided at the end of June in Brussels will come. It will be very important, the banking union in this respect, rather than the decision of ECB yesterday. So we need to see if there is a follow-up from the political side.
Do you think Italy will request a formal aid programme via the ESM?
I don't see a reason for that, so I think it will not happen. I think that Italy has to continue on the path of reforms and decision as it has been done in the last 10 months from the Monti government. If this will continue, Italy will not need any financial support.
Now, the Monti government has set out a path of reform, but as you well know, we have elections coming up. Will Italy be able to continue on that path of reform post-election?
I think that some of them are irreversible. Take, for example, the pension reforms. Election will come next spring, but I think that talking personally with the political leaders, I have the strong impression that the lesson has been learned. And I think the guidelines and the request, in case Italy has to address and to obey to Brussels, are very, very strict. So there is not too much space to change policy looking forward. So
the markets, therefore, post-election, the markets should not treat any government that's not Monti-led as anything other than committed to reform.
Again, this is my opinion. I'm also urging political parties to speak to the markets, because it's important to give to the market the economic and political program before the election, but I'm pretty confident that what Monti is doing will continue afterwards.
Okay, just going back to what the ECB outlined yesterday, will that programme reopen the funding window for Italian banks, including your own bank?
In our case, the funding program has never been an issue. We have completed already now 80% of our programs. It's more an issue of maybe medium-sized banks and an issue of price. Price was very high, so we'll see if this decision will reduce the cost of funding rather than opening up the window, at least for the large bank.
Your holdings of Italian government bonds have kept relatively steady around 40 billion euros for most of this year. Again, post what you heard yesterday, will you increase your holdings of Italian government bonds?
We are not considering this moment this option. We want to be steady with our commitment to our investors, so I don't see we will change our policy soon.
Okay, and again on your own situation, Unicredit situation, has your bank passed the peak of bad loans?
Well, this is, I guess you refer to Italy, because for the rest of the group it's not an issue. For Italy, I believe we have another couple of quarters where we have to be very careful, so it's too early to say that it's over. We will be in the position to say something more definitive, I think, after the end of the first 2013 quarter. But for a while, this remains the major issue in general for the Italian banking system.
Okay, I just want to finish up with a couple of questions on Mediobanca. You're obviously the biggest shareholder, and this week the board gave the backing to Chief Executive Alberto Nagel. Was that backing solid? Was it 100% unconditional?
Well, as you know, I'm not part of the board of Mediobanca. From what I know, is a strong backing. Because at the end of the day, what has been judged positively by the board is the conclusion of the Unipol Fonsai deal. That is for Mediobanca very positive, considering the exposure they have to the Fonsai group. So overall, the board, I think, is behind Mr. Nagel.
100%?
Yes.
And finally, what's the immediate outlook for Mediobanca? Is there a shift in the offing? Is there a change of strategy?
Well, we have different, many rumors in the market in these days. For example, the split between investment banking and participation, I don't think is in the loop. I know that the management is working about an industrial plan, and this will be presented to the board in the next few months. I don't know exactly when. So there is a consciousness, from what I perceived in the management of Mediobanca, that Mediobanca has to try to improve performances, and this is encouraging for us as shareholders.
Okay, Mr. Gizzoni, thank you very much.
Thank you.
That was Federico Gizzoni, Chief Executive of Unicredit, talking to Reuters at the Ambrosetti Forum in Cernobbio, Italy. I'm Jamie McGeever. This is Reuters.